What is going on, Panthers Nation? No fancy intro tonight. We are doing the live stream. We'll give folks a few minutes to hop on over. I've got a guest for us tonight. So if you are tuning in, this is the first time I'm bringing someone on live while we go through this live. So should be a lot of fun. We'll give it a few minutes, see if we can get some folks hopping on here. Kind of music do they have? Probably nothing worth playing, but nah, not really. Not really feeling any of these. Not feeling this music at all. What's going on, folks? Yeah, we're not going to play music. I was going to attempt to play background music. What's going on, y'all? It's been a while since I've live streamed, I think 2 weeks or so. Decided to have a little bit of fun tonight and bring on a guest, which we'll go here in just a second. Jeffrey, what is going on? Jeffrey Stamper, how's it going, man? Oh, yeah, tuning in from Facebook, man. I like it. I appreciate you following all the content. I see everything out there. It's funny because I disperse everything across all platforms. Facebook kind of just feeds in from the stuff I do. Hope you're doing well, man. Keep pounding. I love it. Well, you know what, folks? We are a few minutes into this. Weatherman, here we go. Weatherman, I'm a true Diamond, North Carolina Panthers fan, and I believe it's the colors one. Gotcha, man. All right, let us go ahead. We're gonna add you to the stage. What is going on, man? This
What's
is
going on?
Thomas. How are you doing, Thomas?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I can't complain too much. You are the first person who I'm doing any kind of stream with, any kind. So, hey,
Awesome. So I'm the first one. You're the first one that's doing a live stream with me, which is really cool. And then I'm the first one to help you out. So this will be fun. It's gonna be laid back, nothing crazy.
hmm
But hey, man, so we'll go ahead and jump right in, I guess. And let me see. We got one comment here. I'll try to keep up with the comments, folks. Hope you all are doing well. We're having a little bit of fun, a little bit of Panthers talk on this Sunday night on the eves of training camp that are coming upon us. Okay, he said,
hmm
no, brother, man. I'm a diehard Carolina Panthers fan. I got you. I got you. So, man, hey, one, appreciate the support that you have for me in the show. Like I know we've
hmm
interacted quite a bit.
hmm
So making true money. I know that's like, is that part of the brand or the YouTube channel that you run?
Yes, sir. It's kind of both. It started off whenever I've done music, so that's what I went by. But then
Nice.
most people have called me MTM, so that stuck, and then it's branched out to other things like sports. So yeah.
Love it. On the Growl with MTM, like it. I did get to listen to the music, and I will say, like, oh, you're good, man. in in a past life, I also had a music career, which we will not get into the weeds of it today.
Oh man. Okay.
But I know all about that, so it's all good, man. And all my stuff still floats around. So just to add a like
Mm,
a little bit more fun,
okay.
100% of the reason that I don't give out my real name is because when I was doing rap music way back in the day, my name was associated with it, and then that thing just never died. And so I was like, well, and I don't think the podcast, like I don't have to worry about it staying with
Yeah,
me. It is what it is.
yeah, yeah.
But I like to keep them separate. But
Okay, okay.
that's probably the
Hey,
reason.
I get it 100%. Trust me, I get it 100%. You good, man. But hopefully one day.
That's it.
Hopefully one day.
What's up, man? So I'm gonna catch up. So I try to stay caught up on the chat here. We have Jeffrey
hmm
still tuning in. He says, "How's the diehard Carolina Panthers fans out of Salisbury, North Carolina? Love it,
Mm.
man. Very good. So for you, man, where are you located in Texas? Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm in Texas, Central
Nice.
Texas.
So how did you become a Panthers fan? Or I should say, I'm guessing you're a Panthers fan.
Yeah, yes, sir. I am. I'm actually born in North Carolina. I was born there.
Okay.
I lived there for almost half my life, probably a little bit less. But
Yeah.
uh, but I was basically born a Panthers fan. So. that's what I've known
Mhm.
ever since I was growing up. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Where were you born in, or where did you live in North Carolina?
I was born in Winston-Salem, but I
Yeah,
never stayed there. I always stayed in a town called Statesville, and then I stayed
yep,
in Charlotte.
got it. I've heard of Statesville, heard of Charlotte, definitely heard of Winston. I grew up outside of Greensboro.
Okay, okay.
Super small city, Reidsville, North Carolina. It's funny. I've had a lot of people, well, not a lot of people. A lot of people think this is a Raiders football helmet, but it's not.
It looks like it.
It does. So I get all kinds of comments about this being like, why are you a Panthers podcast with a Raiders helmet? And so no, that was my high school helmet. But it was funny. I don't remember. It was months and months ago. I had a
Mhm.
video pop, and someone that went to that high school like recognized it, and they're like, "Oh, you went to Rockingham County High School?" Like, yeah, that's it. That's the helmet. They got it right off.
Okay.
Just crazy. So kind of getting into this, I know you were talking about music, and you said first time kind of streaming. Are you trying to get into sports, like sports podcasting, content creation, or have a desire to do something like that, or maybe gaming? I don't know.
Well, I've done gaming way back in the day when
Mhm.
Fortnite first came out. When it first
Oh
came
yeah.
out, I was streaming that, but then I stopped for a little bit. But as far as the sports world, yeah, I've been thinking about it for years, and then this past month or so, I've kind of done things to help me kind of pursue that more. So that's what I'm doing now. And then I got acquainted with your channel, and then here I am now. So,
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm happy to share any advice, any knowledge that I can
mhm,
give you. I'll say it's a
okay.
journey, but as long as you want to do it
Mhm,
and you're like all in, and you can take baby steps like
mhm,
for you just kind of getting started. I mean, the groundwork's there with the channel.
mhm,
You can, make a decision. Are you going to want to keep the channel that you have? Do you want to branch out, create a new one?
mhm.
But I can get you connected with like you may already follow a bunch of the Panthers creators that are out
Yeah.
there. There's a ton, and it's a really good community.
Mhm.
It can be overwhelming, with some of the stuff on Twitter,
Yeah.
Instagram, but for the most part, the people that are on there are going to be
Mhm.
willing to help you. And like for me, man, I always like to talk about my journey when I'm,
Yeah.
recording, and you may have heard it across, but like probably a year and a half ago, I had like 3 or 4 listeners, and it was me, it was our oldest son, it was my father-in-law, and then like a
Okay.
friend of my father-in-law's that would
Okay.
listen to this. That was it.
Okay.
And
Mm.
you get on here, and it's tough
Mhm.
early, like when you're starting off, because you want to do it, and maybe
Mhm.
the content's not as good as you want it to be, but
Mhm.
it's just those mental reps. And like
Mm.
even though I've gotten as far as I have, there's
Mhm.
still a lot of ups and downs, man. It
Yeah, yeah.
really is. But I encourage you, and like, yeah, if you ever need help or questions, like I said, get you connected with folks, and support. That's a big thing. Like, I'll promote, support anything you put out, especially as we grow and, talk about
Mhm.
Panthers or whatever other sports content that you'll be talking about there.
Okay. I appreciate that for sure, because I know I'm gonna need it because, like you said, baby steps for sure.
That's it. And, you don't have to have the fancy equipment. So number one, I did start with I had speaking of recording, this was the mic I
Uh,
used
yep.
when I recorded music from years and years ago.
I already know.
And
Yep.
yep, so I had all the setup. Unfortunately for me, I think it's the like MIDI box that I
Mhm.
had with that. It's shot. So in a
Mm.
I've had to, at least in the interim, use AirPods, use computer audio. But you coming into it, a lot of people say, "Oh, you got to have the mic, you got to have this." Like, you don't absolutely have to have that.
Mhm.
I use my iPhone camera. Like, you can plug
Okay.
in camera, use that. Like, you don't even have. I mean, sure, there are steps where you're gonna want to eventually like upgrade
Mhm.
different parts and stuff, but at least I would say like getting started, don't let that stuff like prohibit you from just wanting to jump on and
Okay.
start creating content. So
Yeah, like, well, what I have now is my camera and my microphone. both
Mhm.
they both cost me like $30. So
Yeah,
I was okay with that, and it's working fine as you
it
see.
is.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good, man. Let me sorry, I'll try to catch up on
I'm not.
Brother
Yeah,
Man. It's, what is it we got here? Brother Man, the Carolina Panthers. Promise me, believe him in Bryce Young's autograph. All right, I'm trying to decipher this, Jeffrey. It told me I was getting a helmet on my birthday. Ah, I gotcha, man. Hey, Jeffrey, I can't have no idea. I can't promise anything. We're gonna be going to training camp. Hopefully the third and the fourth. I think those are the weekends dates,
Mm,
which is gonna be chaos. I don't really have a bunch of stuff to bring, but I'm gonna try to bring some stuff to get autographed that I can give
mm.
away to fans. So for you, Jeffrey, I can't promise that I'll be able to get anything for you, man, but we'll see what we can do and try there. What's going on, All Access? Cool, man. So I know you probably wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about Panthers. What's good,
Yes, sir.
Josh? And so I
So
think it's a, I've talked about Panthers this
mhm.
entire off season. I talk about it every week. I pop on my YouTube and do podcasts. I get to talk about it. So I do like kind of this, I'll call you a creator because you're starting,
Yes, sir.
but
Okay.
fan perspective
Mhm,
for the Carolina Panthers, and
mhm.
maybe we can start like your thoughts on just last season and how things went. Which I know wasn't great.
Look, man, I get flack for it all of the time, man. All of the time, man. People be like,
Uh-huh.
CJ Stroud better. He this man.
It's got to be tough there in Texas. Are you closer to like Houston or Dallas or?
I'm like smack dab in the middle. So like, no matter what, it's gonna be Texas fans, Cowboys fans. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's inevitable,
strong.
man.
And then they'll even
Yeah,
travel here. They'll travel to Charlotte and Bank of America Stadium,
they're
primarily
everywhere,
Dallas.
everywhere. They're everywhere. No
So
matter
that's
what state
yeah,
you're in, they're there.
yeah. So that's tough, man. Being a Panthers fan in Texans territory,
Hmm.
knowing about CJ Stroud. So I think what I would say is like, I have my thoughts and I want to
Okay.
influence you. Like when you look at Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, like do you
Mm-hmm.
still think the Panthers got their quarterback, or do you think, hey, we still need some time? Let's see how this
Mm-hmm.
year goes. What do you think about that?
Well, from my opinion, I think we still have time. Of course, we all saw how last year went. Oh my goodness,
Hmm.
from the O line to the receivers to, I'm pretty sure Bryce Young was definitely, you know, jittery, scared a little bit because
Yeah.
he was afraid that he was going to get sacked every play or hit every play. So
Yep.
that's kind of hard to deal with, like because honestly, we were all sold on the
We
coaching staff,
were.
excuse me. We were all sold on it. Even me, from Josh
Yep.
McCown, to Frank Wright, you know, I, I don't know, but
It was tough.
honestly, I didn't want Frank Reich. I wanted Steve Wilkes. That was
Hmm.
my opinion
Yep.
because the players played hard for him,
They did.
So yeah.
I agree with you. I think going back, like that whole run, once Rule's fired, Wilkes takes over, they go on the
Mm-hmm.
run. And I've
Mm-hmm.
talked about that pretty extensively on the show too. That
Yeah.
like Steve Wilkes was the logical hire. The Carolinas, Charlotte native, that it just made so much sense.
So
And
much
I
sense.
think it just felt like Tepper decided like, hey, I'm gonna outsmart myself. You had it like there right in front of you. You outsmart yourself. And to your point, we go out, we get the all-star staff. I just talked about that with Dunk, Aaron from Unnecessary Sports Bluntness last year. I
Yeah.
bought into it. We all did. And I agree with you though that last year you look at the offensive line, how many times Bryce Young was sacked, and I was looking back at just the not all rookie quarterbacks, but
Mm-hmm.
quarterbacks that have been taken number one since like Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to, I was looking at it to look at year one to year two
Okay.
progression, and just like, is there anything that we could, glean out of
See
this?
or hope
Sure.
for it.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like because I think every situation was different. But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
one thing that did stick out was a lot of those quarterbacks, or I should say, out of the group, Bryce Young was sacked way more than everyone else on that list is the number one overall quarterback that was taken.
Mhm.
So I
Like,
do like moving into this year,
mhm.
looking at what they did in the offseason so far, which is, shoring up the offensive line. And you'd mentioned wide receivers. And we
Mhm.
got a comment here, which I'll bring up because it's a good point here. Josh Donaldson said, I want to see what the Coker kid does at wide receiver. And I agree. So Jalen Coker, undrafted free agent, who
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are pretty high on right now.
Yes, they
When
are.
you think about the wide receiver room, like, what are your thoughts about that heading into this year?
Like for me, I like how we picked up Deontay Johnson because if I remember correctly, he was the best receiver last year at getting open, but with his quarterback play, it was definitely not the best. And
Yep.
then I know people also mentioned his drops. Like
Yep.
a few years ago, yes, he had more drops, but last year he only had two, so he got better
Hmm.
at that. And we still have Adam Thielen, um, Jonathan Mingo. I hope he takes a big step, but I don't know.
Yep.
Um, Honestly, I am a big Terrence Marshall fan
Yeah.
because if you also go back to his college days before he got hurt, he was he was Joe Burrow's best receiver, his leading receiver in touchdowns. When he got
Big
hurt,
target.
then it spread out to Justin, and so hopefully he stays on the team, but he might be on the out. Honestly, he might be, but you
Yeah.
never know. We got Jalen Coker. We signed one or two people from the XFL, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Daywood Davis from XFL, UFL. You
Yeah.
got David Moore, who came over from Tampa, who had ties to
Okay.
Canales.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And we're
yeah.
Amir Smith Marset, Xavier. I
We
mean, I
have
think it's a lot.
it's like a thousand receivers at this point. I mean, it's so many, it makes no sense. But
Yes.
hey.
I went through now. I did like I did a 90-man roster breakdown, which,
Hmm.
hats off to anyone that's actually sat through those 3 or 4 videos. Actually, hats off to the people. So here's a fun confession about these videos. One, my channel is clean. I mean, people know that. I don't
Okay.
cuss on the channel. Just I just made a decision to do that. Now, me recording me off, that's just a different story.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, and so my father-in-law got one video one time where I just forgot to clip it. But speaking of
Mm,
the 90-man roster, I did a video the other day. I took it down, so you are not going to be able to find it. But it was the
okay.
linebackers. It was linebackers and maybe special teams preview.
Hmm.
And the way I did it, I was recording, like, my setup here is like
Hmm.
connected to our laundry room. So I was recording in the laundry room to start the video.
Hmm.
Internet connection went out, and so I just got ticked off and I came back in here. I dropped like
Okay.
3 or 4 F bombs. And from where I record like 3 or 4 things at a time. So
Hmm.
I go back, I clip it, post it.
Hmm.
Then I didn't think anything about it. Just because it had been so long between me recording it and cutting it.
Hmm.
So I left it up and I posted it, and
Hmm.
then I start to get comments on the video, and somebody's like, "Do you have Tourette's?" I was like, "What?" Like, no. They're like, "Well, you're just dropping F bombs like constantly." I was like, "Oh god." Someone else said, "Oh, that's me about every day, every time I start my day." It was it's a
uh,
mess. So
Meme City.
that's yeah. So that's other advice for you to think about as you get into it. But
Okay.
so we've got, speaking of the wide receivers, I'm with you there though. So I think Terrace Marshall is one that I just kind of like. I'm going to be going out and trying to make a 53-man roster prediction here
Hmm.
before camp. But I keep going, pushing him a little bit further out. But I'm with you, man. Like, I
Hmm.
would love I'd love to see him be successful this year and take off. I will say it does feel like that the room itself has been upgraded because you were talking about
Yeah,
Johnson, his ability to get open. So I think there's some good things there. And you look at Sanders Saunders, who was just drafted,
yeah,
tight
yeah, yeah.
end. When you talk about pass catching as well,
Yes,
so I
sir.
think Bryce is going to have hopefully much better
Way much
year.
better. Hmm.
And speaking of, let me catch up on the chats here. Sorry, I
No, no,
do a bad
no.
job.
You're good, man. You're good.
He
I
said,
promise.
yeah. So Rock is Rock Jones. If you get
Uh-huh.
into Panthers world, is a visor guy. So
Okay.
he said I upgraded my hat, which I did, but I didn't upgrade my visor, so I'll have to upgrade there.
Mm,
I'll have to get an upgraded visor. Let's see. Yeah, man, Terrace. Yeah, we were just talking about Terrace Marshall. It's
yeah.
tough spot for him. I
Very
do
tough.
hope. I'm with you with Mingo taking
Hmm.
that next step. Let's see. Our running backs too, yeah. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on I think Chuba Hubbard's he's fine. He's
Oh yeah,
hey, excuse me. What do you think about Miles Sanders, Jonathan Brooks,
man.
that group?
So Chuba Herbert, I've been a fan of him since college. Since he rushed for like 2,000 yards in college that one year. But his first year he was definitely shaky with the fumbles and stuff. He was definitely,
Mhm.
but he's gotten better. And then last year, if he would have definitely gotten a start, he would have definitely hit well over 1,000 yards rushing, well over.
Yep.
Miles Sanders, I mean, I know he was hurt to start. I'm not sure how much that affected him, throughout the whole season.
Mhm.
But hopefully he can, show a greater improvement this year now that he's healthy. That he
Mhm.
says. Of course, we got Raheem Blackshear.
Name Black.
He's mainly a pass catcher, but he could be on the team. Mainly for return duties.
Yep.
You never know. And then I know we have an undrafted rookie. I forgot
Sheridan.
his name. Sheridan, yeah,
Yep,
yeah, yeah.
Jaden Sheridan. He looks
He
pretty
might,
good,
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
or at least
Um,
college wise. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, college wise, but he might be someone who sticks on the practice squad for a while because
Yep.
Dave Canales said he's gonna run the ball, and run the ball.
That's right, man.
uh,
I don't I don't know
but
how much I'm like him talking about running the ball and being stubborn, and they didn't have a great rushing attack in Tampa last year, like as far as
yeah,
like yards per game. I'm wondering how much is him talking this thing up versus
hmm
actually we're going to go out there and run. When I think about running the ball, I think about if I was to get like in Carolina Panthers terms, like a John Fox team. It's
oh
hard for
yeah,
me to imagine that's what Dave Canales is going to be like. Run the ball and play good defense. I'm not saying that's what we should or shouldn't be, but it's hard for
mhm,
me. This new age, young, offensive minded coach
yeah,
that did a lot with Baker, did a lot with Geno,
yeah,
to come here and do it. Now he will have the weapons to do so. Um,
yeah.
do you think is Miles Sanders, in your opinion, safe, or do you think he could be on the bubble, like as far as roster cuts?
With that contract, yeah, he's safe.
You think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, with that contract, he's definitely safe. Unless he
contract
get
tells a
injured,
lot.
I hope he don't. But unless he gets injured, he's safe. There is no
Yeah,
way around it right now. It's all about business at the end of the day. And that contract, yeah, he got them stuck
he's
right
getting the
now.
money. Yep. Yeah, it'd have to be, you know, you're not going to save any money, and I don't know, like what it'd have to look at the final roster, and he would just have to be absolutely terrible in training
Yeah,
camp, or you see something out of one of
horrendous.
these other backs
Yes.
that make you like, all right, yeah, we're gonna pull, decide to actually pull the plug and get him out here. I will say, I like to plug these, the players
Mhm.
outside of. I know football field is one thing, and I know he knows he didn't perform well. Fantastic guy as far
Yeah,
as
yeah.
training camp last year, man. Going up to all the kids, a lot of people though, signing autographs, which a lot of these players do. So I just, if they ever listen to this, I have no idea, but I do appreciate what they do there. You know,
Same.
I had one thing I was going to go back to with wide
Okay.
receivers
Okay.
that I just thought about it because I was watching a video today and I don't have it, but I don't know if you saw the clip of Adam Thielen. He was at the golf. I don't know if it's the big golf tournament that's out now with all the celebrities and Josh Allen. It might be. I don't keep up with all that.
Okay.
But wherever he was at a golf tournament. He got asked by a Kansas City reporter about. The Kansas City reporter was like, "Oh, we really wanted you to, play here," and Adam was like, "Oh, I wanted to go there, but they didn't want me."
Yeah.
So
yes, I did.
he landed in Carolina. Do you have any feelings about that? Like him not really, because he's also said things throughout the season, the off season, at some points where it's like, does he really want to be here? And I know some people wanted him potentially shipped off, but like, you're only going to get so much. But do you have any opinion on any of that, or you just think it's like, who cares?
I mean, kind of who cares, but also at the same time, I mean, he didn't mean like there's no ill will intent behind it.
I agree.
I mean, he was in Kansas City, and if he wanted to, first of all, who don't want to go play Patrick Mahomes?
That's true, man.
Like, come on now.
Like, sign me up.
Want to go there? If I could, send me there too. Okay.
Yes.
Send me there.
Exactly.
So it's just, hey, he said what he said, and he stuck by it. He wanted to play there, but somehow Frank Reich and the coaching staff kind of convinced him to sign with us, and we see how that went last year.
Yep, I'm with you. I also think, like, man, just this new age of media, whatever you want to call it, like not just social media, but media, where you only get like this small clip and then it just blows up. Like that's what happens. You get a small clip. Like I was speaking of Adam Thielen, I had Alex Zetlow of the Charlotte Observer on a month and a half ago. And speaking of golf, he was at a golf charity event, but had some type, I guess, question and answer thing about the event.
Yeah.
And Alex, got to ask him a few questions, and it was right around the time of the stadium proposal. And I guess part of that came out with Adam, basically bashing the current Panthers facilities. And then, Alex writes the article, that thing blows up and everyone picks it up. And it's just wild to see.
Look, man.
Oh God. How that stuff takes off.
It's trash. It is trash. It's trash, so hey.
It is. That's the hard part too for me. Like I try to stay mostly out of speculative stuff to a certain extent. Like black and white, like this is the thing that's happened, or these are the facts. I'm not big on like getting deep into a player's Instagram account, and that's
me neither.
It's where sports is, though. It's like you turn it on, it's like, oh, so and so, which it's changed now, but they like this. They unfollowed the team. I'm like, okay,
literally, yeah. What am I gonna do?
I mean, think about my personal work life. Like, I don't follow my work on social media. Like, I wanted to.
No.
I think people think because it's sports and it's it's football, oh, you gotta follow the team and like their stuff. And I'm like, do you follow your work on all your socials, and do you like all their stuff and retweet them and comment? Like, think about it.
I'm off of work for a reason. I'm at home.
That's right. Checked out.
Not deal with work.
Business, personal life, because it is a business for them. Oh man. Let's see. Sorry, I'm catching up here. Oh, we did talk a little bit about this. So Josh said, I want to see what the Longhorns draft picks do. I agree. I think for me, Jonathan Brooks, when is he going to be back? Coming off the injury. I don't know if he's going to be put on the PUP list. I'm hoping here, training camp's coming around the corner, that we'll get a better timeline.
Yeah.
Although I don't expect much in the first few weeks. Like I can see Cal doing some coach speak, like, well, we're evaluating. We'll have more information here in the next few weeks, whatever it is. And then Jatavian Sanders. Can't wait to
Yes.
see him too.
Same.
Let's see. Okay, so Jeff, catching back up on Jeffrey. Jeffrey said the Carolina Panthers backed out on me from a black and blue helmet with "Keep Pounding" on it. Black and blue shield. Oh, it was Bryce Young. Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
I unfortunately do not have a direct connection with the Panthers, man, but
I wish.
right? Let's see. I walked away as a fan for what they did to me on my birthday, and then can't believe. Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeffrey, man. Sorry, man.
I know. All right. Catching up on Josh. Josh said we took everyone from Tampa, coaching wise. Hope they put in the work. I agree, man.
Yeah. Same here.
You know, it's. I guess we could talk about it. Like when you think about this year
Okay.
coming up, what are your expectations? Like are you if you want to throw out a record, you can too, but like what are you thinking coming into this year?
Definitely a whole lot of improvement as far as from the offensive line. Well, from the offense in general, we need to see improvement across the board. On defense, like for me, I want our offense to at least be middle of the pack. And then if our defense can be anywhere from 20 to 15, I'm okay with that. Record wise, I hate throwing it out there too. I do, but if we can win 5 or 6 games, I'm okay with that because that's definitely a lot of improvement. Because like if you look at some of the games we had this past year, there was quite a few of them we could have and should have won. But hey, it came down to the end of us turning over the ball or gets, it's crazy.
Fumbled it away some way. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I always like to differentiate. Like as a fan, I do hope we win the division.
Same.
As someone who's been doing this now for a year and a half, I sometimes get a little bit more realistic on this side. Last year I got burned thinking we would win 10 games. So I do think that I think it's not fun to say 5 to like if I go into this season saying 5 to 6 and we get there, I think that's good. But I definitely want to see more. Like I do think we see a lot of like worst to first. It happens every year. There's a reason that the NFL is supposed to have this parity outside of Kansas City. I'm just joking. But that's the point of the league is you finish where you finish. Now we know the Panthers didn't have their number 1 overall pick last year. Whole different conversation. But I do think I'm with you. I think the defense does, and we can actually, this is a good point. Josh just left. He said our defense will stay solid, or hopefully our defense will stay solid after letting a lot go. We brought in some studs. Hopefully they can come together and win some games. I agree. I think for me, I hated losing Frankie Louvu, Brian Burns, whether or not people were for or against him. And Andy Gross Matos. You throw it in now. Jeremy Chin wasn't really utilized, but I do like to put him in there because he did show flashes earlier.
Yep.
But then you look at the replacements. You got Shaq Thompson coming back healthy. Yep. You have Josie Jewell. You bring in a lot of players that are familiar with Ijiro's system.
Yep.
And then you have Clowney. And I think Clowney benefited from the Baltimore defensive scheme, so I don't think he's going to have as many sacks. I think the question for me is DJ Wonham and his health and what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
Because he is coming off of a surgery. Sounds like things have been pushed out a little bit. So I'm hoping he's healthy in time for camp. And
but like he might not be because he had a setback, right?
He did. So had a setback. So I guess in the next 2-3 weeks, we'll get an update on timing. It does worry me because we also have Barno, who is recovering.
Yep.
And you go back beyond that, you got DJ Johnson, Igu Leota. It's not a ton of other guys.
Man, our defensive line is just hurt across the board, man. Oh my God, it makes some sense.
It's gonna be tough. the pass rush. It's like my expectations. Like I think defense. I think Ejiro is a future head coach.
Yes,
He's
yes,
gonna
for
he's
sure.
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough this year for him. I think they
Mm-hmm.
may. I don't want to say take a big step back, but they take a little step back. And
Mm-hmm.
then we haven't really talked about cornerback, but I do think J.C. Horn, his health, which we could
Yep.
say that every day, and Dane Jackson on the defensive side of the ball. I'm with you, Ben, when you on the offense too. With you look at how bad it was last year. It was like the second worst offense in Panthers history as far as points per game.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
only season that was worse was 2010. That was the year before we drafted Cam Newton.
Yep.
So it was bad. So the only
Jimmy
way to
Clausen
go is
years,
up.
huh? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, the Jimmy Clausen. And look,
that is the only way to go is up from there. So
and I've been watching Panthers games since I was a baby kid. So I've seen the ups and
mhm,
downs, but oh man, the Jimmy Clausen
it was
years and also the last year was horrendous. It was straight. Oh my goodness.
mhm. It was bad, man. You made you. I even get comments now, like when I wear Panthers gear, and I kid you not. I think I went. I think I said this on one of the live streams. I went to get a tire patch. I don't know. It was like weeks ago,
Yeah.
and the mechanic looked at me. He's like, I feel bad for you, man. You're wearing that Panthers hat." He's like, "It's no charge." I was like, "What?
Oh, that's
You
crazy.
burdened me,
Oh.
man. Burdened me for the Panthers gear." And I remember we like to stay at home to watch, or at least I do. But we went out for the Detroit game. Oh my
Mm.
god, that was bad because they got up big early on. It's not good.
Man, what was that score like 42 to 20 something, 24,
Yeah, it
something like
wasn't
that?
really. They made it a little more respectable, but it was not very good.
Nah, yeah, it wasn't that
It
good, man.
was. I just wanted to like put my head down, hat
Yeah,
down,
just at that
walk
point,
out
I'm
of
just
there.
like, man, why am I here, man? What's going on, man?
That's it. I will say though, you know what? I'm always gonna wear it. I honestly could care
Same,
less.
same, yeah. I just, I used to have a bunch of Panthers gear. Now I just have one, sadly. So I definitely have to get some more gear for sure, for sure.
It's good. Is
I
it
just
you have a
got,
jersey?
yep. It's a Julius Pepper jersey.
Oh, nice.
I had a Chris Gamble and Ken Lucas jerseys back in the day,
Oh
but
yeah.
I have no clue where they're at now. I have no
All
clue.
gone. Our oldest is a big jersey nerd. He loves
Mm.
jerseys, but he's a Baltimore fan, so that's a whole nother thing. I don't know. His Pop Warner team was Baltimore,
Mhm.
and they have Lamar Jackson, of course, and like so when he started getting interested in football was
Mm.
when Baltimore was good and like
Okay.
he's latched on. But the
Uh,
funniest, which I've had him on here a few times. I'm getting him back on. So he had surgery on his eye last week,
oh,
and
okay.
he's fine. Everything went well. Like it was all
Okay.
good. So it was good. Successful surgery. He's fine. He's recovering. But he was coming out of anesthesia, and he's in the recovery room, and we're like at the point where we're basically ready to leave, but he's still kind of like shaky as far as
Yeah.
like mentally coming back in.
Mm.
The nurse was helping him put on his shirt. He was wearing a Ravens shirt, and she was like, "Oh, Ravens! How did you become a Ravens fan?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm just a bandwagon." He's like, "I'm just a bit," because we joke with him. We joke with him. We're like, "Oh, you're just a bandwagon fan. You only like
Yeah.
him because of Lamar." She's like, "It's
Yeah.
good." And he literally said it, and he couldn't believe it. Like when he actually came back and was like kind of into it. It's like, dude, you just told us all you were a bandwagon fan. So just come join the
Admit it
Panthers.
to us, right? Come on, man. We will accept you. Come on, man.
We'll bring you over. Oh man,
Open arms.
it's great. Let's see. Let me catch it up here, bros. I'm just tired of seeing Kansas City win the Super Bowl. Yeah,
We all are. Trust us. We
it's gonna
all
be
are.
hard. You
We
got to take
all
them
are.
down. Got to take them down. And I mean, they're always year after year competing. Let's see. What is this? Sorry. Would love to see the Panthers and grandson in Marty's jersey.
Or send them.
Yeah. Nice, man.
Oh, okay. Marty Honey. Okay.
Yeah, I think that must be what he's referencing there.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Well, I know we're getting close to an hour. Or any other topics that we can talk about anything, but anything you wanted to bring up before we close out?
Okay, so what would be the best thing that could happen to us this year that's not the Super Bowl to you? And then what's the worst thing that can happen to us that's at least not 2-15 again? Okay, let me say that. Not that again, but what's the best and worst case scenario?
Best case for us, or I guess for the Panthers, in my mind, I'm not even going to throw out a record. I think best case is we see that Bryce Young is going to be the franchise quarterback, that we know without a shadow of a doubt that this is the guy that's going to be here for the next 5, 6, I shouldn't say 5, next 10 plus years. Quarterbacks times are long, so maybe we should say 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know.
Right.
I think that's like regardless of record. Now, I will caveat, like, if we go out and win 1, 2, 3, 4, that's gonna hurt. Like, that's not gonna feel good to do that.
Definitely not.
But I do think we see. I maybe have couple it with Bryce Young is the franchise quarterback, and we know it, and Dave Canales. One just and it sounds crazy to have to say this, but makes it through the season. I don't think Tepper's going to pull the trigger, but if the waters get shaky, I would say I just seeing him get through. But I think seeing that his direction, that he's able to start to truly like build up the culture that we want.
Yeah.
I think best case, I guess, if I do like take all that too, I'd say best case would be for me if we did sneak into the playoffs, and I think that's probably, or would hopefully be at like 9 and 8. Which I think it could be manageable. I think you definitely could. Worst case, worst case we go out here and Bryce isn't the guy. I mean, a lot of this is hinging on Bryce because he's supposed to be your franchise quarterback. And I say it because, like, I don't think it's make or break for him this year, right now. But if he does just perform terribly, and I mean, maybe it's last year, but even worse, and he's got improved weapons, improved coaching, improved run game, improved wide receiver core. And if he doesn't look like he's taken that step, or he looks like he's the same or worse, I don't think that's great, because now we're talking quarterbacks, and I don't think it would be in the draft. But it's like, okay, in another year or so after that. So I think that's kind of my worst case, best case idea. But what about you? Do you have anything in mind that you're thinking like, oh, this is best, this is worse?
Yeah, like for me, the best case scenario, is definitely sneak into the playoffs. Because right now, of course, we hear how Carolina is the worst team. We suck. Bryce Young sucks. He's a bust. I'm like, come on, man. He like I know y'all saw what he had to work with last year. Come on, man. Like, so definitely the playoffs. That's what I'm hopeful for. Worst case scenario, just like you said, if for some reason Bryce Young just goes out and just bombs it, and I mean bombs it, which I don't think he will, because we've seen worse quarterbacks have some pretty decent to good weapons, and they was trash, And Bryce Young didn't have much, and all of it wasn't on him. Some was, but we know how it went. So, worst case scenario, let me say, I don't want to say a record, but he just goes out and bombs it, and just we're back at square one again. So there's that.
Great, man. Cool. Let's see. Rock Jones says, for a Gamecock fan since birth and a Panther diehard since day one, we deserve a winner, not to mention a championship. Amen. No excuses. No mercy, fellas. Keep pounding. Hey, preach it. Hey, and speaking of Gamecocks, I'll ask you this as like my final question.
Okay.
Are you copping EA college football?
I already got it. It's already
Nice.
downloaded. I'm just waiting on it, man.
Does it come out for you tomorrow?
Yeah. Look,
I don't know how the pre-order stuff.
yeah. For me, like earlier, it had like 19 hours to go or something like that, and so I can play it. But I've seen ways people have played it earlier. That's not the content creators, but I've seen ways that they can play. I might try it. I might not.
Nice.
We'll see.
TBD. Who's your team? Who's your school gonna be? Or do you care?
I don't, but I might play because I'm a Tigers fan. So
nice.
I'm definitely gonna do one with them. But like I might do like some series with Coastal Carolina or somebody who's like a 1-star. So
yeah, build
East Carolina. Yeah.
I'm with you, man. Oh, right up there at the top.
Oh, hello.
Right there. Tar Heels.
Yep.
I like to say it, although I do welcome on all of my fellow Wolfpack fans, my Dukies. I love all y'all and all the schools. Gamecocks. My family is Gamecocks, and then the other half is Clemson. So, but I've sided closer to the Gamecock. We go to the Gamecock games, but yeah. Speaking of North Carolina, man, no Drake May. Sam, no Sam. I don't know what they're going to be this year. I'm hoping
I don't either. I have no clue whatsoever.
Hoping the defense is good, which is hard to imagine. They have a good. Last year they kind of showed it for the first half and then fell apart. The defense and Hampton running the ball. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be a long year.
See, I know the offense is going to run through Hampton for sure because this man is definitely good. He won me some leagues last year. So yeah.
He's nice. Jeffrey, I'm gonna have to disagree, man. I cannot back Andy Dalton. I'm sorry, brother.
Same here, Jeffrey. Sorry, man.
It's a little late in the process here. I think Andy's close to retirement, but I appreciate the input.
He's close. He's almost there.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, this has been great. So if I'll let you plug whatever socials you want to plug so people know where they can find you or follow you and all that.
On Twitter is on the growling with MTM. On X. I could be wrong about that, but that's what it should be. And then I have to update more of my socials and everything, but that's right now. Yeah, that's where you can follow me on X, Twitter, Twix, whatever you want to call it.
That's great. Awesome, man. Well, this has been fantastic. I'll definitely have to bring you back on here. You were the first official guest to come live, so I appreciate that. That takes a lot. And as you create or start putting stuff out, let me know. I'll be glad to help promote or come on your show and talk through.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because there's two fans in the stands who
they're great.
Supposed to be my first ones, but somehow it ended up being you. So don't tell them. So.
Oh, there you go. Oh, they're great, man. I love all the work they do. So let me know when you're on there. Going to be on there, and I'll tune in.
Yes, sir. I do appreciate it, and hopefully we have a lot more streams together.
Yeah, man. This is great. That's going to do it for tonight. So we'll see y'all later.
Yes, sir. Thank you.